Hello everybody. Messing around with the times of these lives for sure at the moment, but that's just the way things are at the moment, unfortunately. Lots of things going on in the background. But today, excuse this noise in the background, this is my crappy oven trying to heat up. But today, what I'm going to do is something I've wanted to do for ages on here, but it gets to the weekend, then things get in the way and I just don't get it done. So today I have stopped everything and I'm going to make this for you live. Now this is a bit of a one that splits the whole of Slimming World if you follow Slimming World, and you hear things like it always tastes eggy, it doesn't taste right, it's this, it's that. And what I'm making is lemon drizzle cake, and I have made this cake over and over and over again, and I'm not a baker. I can't bake cakes to save my life, trust me, I really can't. I'm okay with the slow cooker and the savoury side of things, but baking cakes and things just isn't my forte. So what I'm going to do is show you how I make my lemon drizzle cake, because I have actually got this one right. It works every single time. It's not like buying a cake from a shop, so if you want that texture of a cake from a shop, then this isn't it. But it is a great substitute when you want to have something sweet at the weekend with a cup of tea. And it takes that edge off. And when you look at the sins for the whole cake being 8 sins, I think you can live with sort of the texture side of it a little bit. So let me show you what I've got so far, as I've had to start some of this as well, by the way, sorry. What I have is, let me just turn a light on, it's a bit dark in the kitchen at the moment. I've got 50 grams of self-raising flour, excuse the chipped bowl. This is the sweetener that I'm using at the moment. I don't use sweetener in tea, coffee, cereal or anything. It's Graham that's using it, and he says this doesn't leave that awful chemical taste. I don't know, I've never tried it. So this is the sweetener I'm going to use today. I've used 15 grams of this. There it is. It isn't like a powdered sweetener, it's more of a heavy granulated, it feels like sugar, to be quite honest. But there's 15 grams in there. I have used 5 eggs, which you'll see I've already cracked. I'm going to cheat because I'm going to add some blueberries to mine. I know you're supposed to sin cooked fruit and sweetener. If you want to do that, then that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to sin these because I don't use sugar in any other part of my diet. And then 2 lemons. You want the juice of 1 and the zest of 2. So it's all pretty simple stuff, and as I say, I am not a baker by any stretch of the imagination. Now the first part of this is what I've done is separated the eggs, so I have yolks in one bowl, whites in another. Make sure it's in a nice big bowl so you can really get it whisked up. And as you can see, I've got this into really good stiff peaks. It's got a lovely wobble on it, it's not moving. Take your time to get this into this really good stiff mixture, because that makes all the difference to the cake. And with the 5 yolks, this is going to be where I prep everything now. So I've got 5 yolks in here. Make sure you get no whites in one and yolks in the other, because Molly did that when she was little and I made this, and the cake was just a disaster. So as always, just sieve your flour, whack that through. As I say, I am not a baker, so please excuse this. Add your sugar. It's pretty simple so far. So we've got the eggs and the sugar in there. And I'm going to add in to this the zest of these lemons. So just quickly, you can add some vanilla to this if you want as well. It's entirely up to you. So in goes the lemons, and then I want the juice of 1 lemon. Sorry, I probably should have done this earlier. Try not to get any of the white piffy bit if you can. And then the juice of 1 lemon. Let me grab my little gadget here which gets all the juice out. And then all I'm going to do is give that a good mix through. So you make sure with this is where people say it tastes eggy, and it's because they haven't got the flour and the egg yolks mixed through. So make sure you get it mixed through. Don't worry about any lumps in the flour or any lumps in there or anything like that. Don't worry about that bit. This is the most important part of this. So once you've got everything scraped together and you've got this like sort of nice consistency, sort of droppy kind of thing going on, this is the next part, and this is where I think people don't quite get this right, and this is the way I do it. As I say, I am no baker, I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but it's the way I do it and it seems to work. Going to take about 1/3 of this egg white, so just about 1/3 of that, and I'm going to make sure that that is mixed completely in to the flour yolk mixture, if you like. Now this takes a little bit of time to get this mixed through, but this I think is the important part, because if you keep seeing this, if people leave it like that, can you see how that white is not mixed through? And that's when you take a bite of the cake and you get that eggy taste. You've got to get that white mixed into this mixture, and if you mix about 1/3 of it in the beginning, it makes it so much easier to get the rest of the whites in. Try not to beat it, try to just fold it gently in. So as you can see now, there is no white trails through that mixture. And now what I'm going to do is the other part, which is dead easy, is just mix that bit in. And this should now make it quite easy. Try not to beat it, just try and fold it. I'm sure somebody will tell me I'm supposed to do this with a metal spoon, but yeah. This is me. But yeah, just try and fold it, just keep turning the ball, try and make sure that you don't see any of those white trails through the mixture. You know, make sure it's all incorporated in. As I say, that noise is still my oven trying to get to temperature. It's got to be the worst oven ever. Okay, so there you go. I appreciate this is a bit of a long one for me, but as you can see, the mixture's still quite foamy, which is what we want. And I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to put in some blueberries. I'm going to keep a couple for the top, just mix them in. No doubt they'll all sink to the bottom, don't worry too much about that. And then I have my, oh, let me put that back on the tray, my mould, and all I'm going to do is pour that into the mould. This is going in about 170, 180 for about 20 to 30 minutes depending on your oven. Just do the cake test, you know, stick through it, you know, does it come out clean, that kind of thing. It's exactly the same. When this is cooked, you can prick it and add more lemon juice if you want. Okay, and let's see if I can just grab a couple of these on before they go into the oven before it sinks. Stay there. Let me just push this into the oven. So into the oven it goes. That is it, job done. Give that half an hour. So that is my live today. It's a cake. I've made a cake for you. Finally, something different from slow cooking. It's a cake. There you go. That's how I do lemon drizzle cake. I will show you how this ends up, and because I'm going to top this as well with probably some quark or something like that. But I'm going to use it over the weekend with a cup of tea when I want something sweet instead of, you know, I'm going to be honest, I've been snacking at biscuits a little bit as well, which is that I need energy. So I'm going to try and use the cake this weekend as a, you know, when I want a sweet hit, I'll use that. I used to use them all the way through my journey, and I just haven't made one for ages and ages and ages. So that is my live lemon drizzle cake, and if you've got any questions, just drop them below as always.